Hello you guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to get back to filming. This is the first video I'm filming since my competition, so it's been a hot minute. Today, first of all, happy November. I do not have an October favorites video for you just simply because I didn't have anything, so I thought, how about we throw it back to some of my old favorites? So that's what this video is, makeup tutorial using old favorites. And we're gonna talk about them and why they were my favorites. And it's cool because I got to kind of shop my stash a little bit and I found some things that I've just totally forgotten about. So let's go ahead and get started. Nars. Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Macao. I bought this foundation last winter, and this is my cool weather foundation going in with a Makeup Forever 108 flat foundation brush. So this foundation, funny story behind it, I tested it out when it first came out and I did not like it. And I think just simply at that phase in my life, I was just really into if it's not matte, I don't want it. And it's not that this foundation isn't matte. It's that it's not that super uber drying matte down look that I was liking at the time. Let me know down below in the comments if you're someone whose foundation, not even foundation, where your makeup taste just changed. I feel like sometimes people get mad at YouTubers because, you know, and I get it, because there are some out there that lie and are disingenuous and they might say they like something and all of a sudden they don't like it, but our minds do change. So now that I am a more mature woman, I'm 31, I'm 31, fresh 31, and when I bought this last year, well, I got a sample first and I couldn't for the life of me understand why I didn't like it, so I had to go back and watch my original video on it. And I love this. I love how it makes my complexion look. It's not too drying because, let's face it, it's cold. This morning I was walking my dogs, it was 34 degrees and I wanted to cry because I am not, these southern bones and we don't like cold. And I like it because it's just enough matte without it feeling too drying. Looks beautiful on the skin. I love how it blends out, and I just love, love, love the shade match. I'm not a fan of the sheer glow though. Sheer glow is not my jam, or the all day luminous. I don't like that one either, but this one right here, yes, yes, yes. And sorry if I sound kind of nasally or congested. I am coming off of a little head cold. Right after my competition, I got a little cold. I think I got it from Loreal, or it could just be, you know, from walking around backstage half naked with about 100 other competitors and all the different germs and going in from the cold to the warmth, you know. Now you guys know I am not a full coverage queen. However, what I have found, what I have learned about myself is if I'm doing a full coverage, it can't be super matte. Like, I think the Smashbox foundation, I love that one. That one is full coverage, but it's not a super, super dry down matte like a Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. So that is the type of full coverage foundation I have. It can't be super duper matte because I think for me, I just feel like I have a mask on and it's just too much. It looks a little too much for me. Now, if that's you, because you know, that's fine, but everyone just has different makeup preferences. And I make sure I say that a lot because I feel like people tend to forget that, you know, might not like the same thing, and that's okay. Now I'm just going to go over with a sponge. This is something that I do like to do with a full coverage foundation. I will go over with the sponge, not a beauty blender. I'm not into using beauty blenders, but I will go over with the sponge just to make sure, you know, everything's nice and blended. That brush basically does it really, really well for the most part. But because it is full on, full. Okay, concealers. This was one that came out last year, right around Christmas time. I remember it because it was during my wedding planning. The Maybelline Full Wear. Hello. I love this stuff. Now, this is one of those that I wear if I am going out or if I'm doing a full coverage look, just simply because it is a little bit lighter than what I typically go for. So just be aware of that, but I do I really do love the look of this. And again, this is another one where it's not super matte at all. It dries down really nicely, easy to blend, and she's affordable. Let me zoom you in. And the shade that I have for this one is 415 Honey. And you will see this Fresh Wear foundation be popping up real soon too, because I am someone who switches out my products just based off of the season that we're in. But that's gonna be a video later on this month, so y'all will see that. All right, now to set up under my eyes, we're going in with the Kat Von D Lock It Brightening Powder in the shade Golden. I'm gonna have to check because I don't think this is available on her site anymore. Hold please, let's see. Oh, perfect. Okay, so the Lock It Brightening Powder is available on her website and it's still half off. But the golden shade is out of stock, so I don't know if they are restocking it or not, but the shade, the medium peach, is available. And typically I'm not a fan of loose powders up under the eyes, y'all know that. But with this one, if I use this, it's typically when I'm going out and I want like a super just nice brightening lifted under eye look. But this one I like because it is very finely milled. It does have a yellow tone to it. Y'all know I like yellow tone powders, and it's not drying. I feel like sometimes, like with the Laura Mercier or the Sacha Buttercup powder, it can be too drying and make the under eye look cakey and crepey, and you know, that's not the look we going for. But that one does not do it. That is why I love it. Now another product, I had to reach down for this in my client kit. This is the Makeup Forever Super Matte Loose Powder. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This one is in the shade, I want to say it's Peach Apricot. I'll make sure I have it in the description because I can't remember the shade. I'm pretty sure that's what it is though. And I like this for setting. Now we're gonna do a very light set because it is super matte, like it says in the name. But this was one of my favorites. Definitely a kit favorite. I think sometimes some people, they get worried about the tones of the translucent powders. I feel like if you are anyone, especially if you are a black woman of color, I prefer to set my face with a powder that is more so yellow or peachy versus the translucent, because we all know translucent is not translucent if you are a woman of color. It's just not. Now, will it give you a crazy white cast? Not all of them, but sometimes I just feel like, I just prefer my translucent powders to either be peachy, a little bit golden, because I feel like it just complements and works better with my skin tone. And again, that's just gonna be preference. Everybody's different. Ooh, look at this skin today, friends. All right, I have decided that I'm going to get my hair braided in December. I don't wanna mess with it. I'm over it. I wanna do something different. So I figured that would be a nice way for me to do something different without chopping it all off, because it is way too cold to chop it all off right now, let me tell you. And we haven't even really hit winter cold yet. All right, so for contour, Benefit Hoola Toasted. I know half of y'all love this on me and half of you said it looked like a purple bruise. I love it. I really like it for contouring. And maybe, I don't know if it pulls that way on camera, because to the natural eye, I can assure you it does not look like a purple bruise. You guys know my favorite right now. I'm digging my Natasha Denona sculpting powder. That's my baby. That's my jam. And I'm using a Morphe M530. Still on the hunt for a new contour brush. This one is still reigning supreme, which I hate because it just sheds like crazy. But you know, you get what you get with Morphe. Like, I'm not looking for, you know, if I'm paying $4 or $5 for a brush, I'm not expecting it to be like my Makeup Forever brush, you know what I mean? I don't get mad. I ain't mad at them. I didn't even realize there's a Morphe store inside of the mall. in my area, so I'm probably gonna go take a look in there. I got one from Sephora last week, but I'm gonna end up taking it back because I didn't like it. So I'll probably go into Morphe to see if I can find maybe like a better quality contour brush. I'll report back. I will report back. All right, and for blush, you already know, Wet n Wild. This is Mellow Wine. Whoo, she's loved. I haven't used this in so long. And you can get this from Target. I think this blush is about $3. Super affordable. And then for highlighter, you guys know I'm not a highlight person. I have been using my Laura Glow powder for what, I think we might be going on 2 years now. So I had to go digging and I found this MAC one. So this was the MAC Taraji collection, so therefore it's discontinued, and it was called Taraji Glow. I'll just show you what it looks like. And I really did enjoy this highlighter. So I'll just show you. It's not a gold tone highlighter. It's more of like a pinkier, not silver. I don't like a silver tone highlighter on me. I typically prefer things that are a little bit more gold, but this is definitely like a pinky peachier one, if you will. I'll just give you a little swatch in case you want something just for reference. If you want to try to find something similar to it here, that's pretty hefty. That's obviously not what it looks like on the skin. See, really pretty. Okay, for brows, old favorite brow pencil would definitely be ABH Brow Wiz. I do not have a Brow Wiz, so I had to go into my kit. I have ABH Brow Definers in my kit, so that's what we're using today. And the only shade that I could find that would work for me was Ebony. The other ones would be too light, so. Okay, brows are on. Let me switch lens so that we can get into, ooh, hey brows, all I see are brows. Let me switch camera lenses so that way we can get into the eyes. All right, fam. Eyes already primed. I went in with the Urban Decay Primer Potion and Caffeine. Y'all know this is my favorite, always my favorite, the only eye primer I use. I will say though, everyone doesn't need eye primer. I'm someone that has very oily eyelids, so therefore I prefer a primer over a concealer. I feel like sometimes concealers, in my opinion, for my eyes, they just don't dry down enough, so therefore this, it's dry and we can move on. For eyeshadow palettes, Colored Raine Safari. I love this freaking palette. So we're gonna go in first here with the shade Clay. And as you can see, I went in and did a little bit more of a cooler tone situation. So with my MAC 224, we're gonna start off with a warmer tone in the crease here. I wish this was a little bit cooler. You guys know whenever I do eye looks, I like to stick with one palette. I don't like to jump around and use 2 to 3 or a bunch of different palettes because it does not serve you if you're trying to follow along. And I just think it's easier to stick with one palette, easier for me when I'm creating and filming the look, and easier for you guys because you can create the look if you have the palette. Now, of course, everything these days are dupable, but at the same time, it's just nice to know, oh, okay, hey, well, I haven't used my Colored Raine Safari palette. I'm gonna grab that tomorrow and try the look and get re-inspired. You know what I mean? All right, now taking a Morphe brush that I do thoroughly enjoy. This is the M506, just a small little tapered brush, and we're gonna go in with Matriarch here. It's almost like it's a dark, cool tone brown. I love this brown. Like, it's so dark, it's almost like a gray, yeah, gray brown. And I'm going to start it right in the crease. And I'm just following the natural socket of my eye. What shape? What's my shape? Okay. And I am gonna pull it down. So once I start pulling it down, that's when I've already got the majority of the shade behind me. When I say behind me, starting from here, going in this direction, because as we bring it into the inner, that's when we want it to start fading off. I don't want to go in with the full-on pigmentation in the inner. You guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. Caesar, my big boy, my big dog, he's a trip. He has the biggest personality. Someone just commented and said, I'm convinced he's a human. All right, now we're gonna go in with Amazon Basin. I love this shade here because it's just a very, very beautiful taupey shimmer shade. It's beautiful. And it looks great on deep skin too. It's a rare case. Sometimes these shades, when I see them in palettes, I'm gonna like, it's not gonna look that great on my skin tone or anyone deeper, but this one, yes, beautiful. Beautiful. And the holidays are around the corner. I just want to know, like, what do you guys prefer? Do you like seeing holiday looks? Is that something you're into? Because I always want to give you content that's quality and that works for you. You know, I don't want to just, oh, you know, review. While reviews are fine, because I mean, I love a good review. I love trying products, but at the same time, it's kind of like, we have all these products, how are we using them? So do you guys want to see more tutorials? Do you want to see more reviews? Do you want to see like more techniques or how to use a specific product? Or, you know, if you need a holiday look, maybe like a Cupid simple holiday look, please let me know, because I've kind of got my list for November, but if you guys say something in particular, I will always put my list to the side and go off of what y'all want, because y'all come first. All right, now for liner, we're not doing a winged liner. I've just got my Sephora Wink It waterproof liner, the best felt tip liner ever at the moment. Well, by the time you guys see this, you would have already seen that video. The Marc Jacobs Highliner liquid liner. Marc Jacobs makes the best eyeliners, hands down. All right, then for liner, this is an oldie but a goodie. I love colored liners, so grays, blues, purples. This one is by NYX. I had to really dig for this one. And this is in the shade gray, simple. So I'm going to line my eyes with this today. Now the staying power ain't like highliner, so if you're looking for something that's affordable, go for this. But if you don't mind dropping a little bit of cash, girl, go with the Marc Jacobs, because it will stay on all day. Marc Jacobs is the only liner that stays on me and doesn't run. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of the Matriarch, put it down here. And then I don't have a throwback favorite mascara because I basically rotate between the same two. So I'm just gonna use one I haven't used in a long time. This is the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. It's not a bad mascara. It's just I have my top two. Okay, and then for lips here, we're gonna go with one of my old favorites, Nars Area. This is their Velvet Lip Glide. Love this shade. Ooh, yeah. My stomach is growling, and guess what? I can actually go eat. I'm excited. All right, guys, this is our completed look.